Hello, everyone, and welcome to Avini Vibes. We're very grateful that you're here. Today is September 11th. Could be a very, very, very somber day, 2025. I'm your host, Christine Rolando. Apologize, I was having computer trouble. Worked on it all day, and the thing decided I'd reboot and have updates, and just spun. So I'm big on getting started on time, but it's my fault tonight, so I apologize for that. Always so grateful for Carol Witt and Chip Littlejohn, and Dr. Nikita Warren is usually with us. I hope she's going to join us again tonight. It's just been an amazing month, amazing few days. And I just want to tell you that we have the most amazing products, leadership and company, second to none by far. And that's what we're here to do tonight. If you're a guest, welcome. I see some new faces that I met today, and there they are. I see Kerry and Kelly, I know, and Jennifer. So it's great that we have a big audience tonight that you've joined us. And we're blessed because we have a very special lady with us all the way from California. And I'm going to just get with her in a moment. But before we do, I hope you don't mind. I'd like to just take a moment to know that today is September 11th, and a lot of people lost their lives. And I live right outside of New York City and lost a lot of folks and friends and no family members. But let's just take a moment of silence to think about, the some of the unprecedented evil that's taking place in our world. Charlie Kirk, and now there's something going on at the Naval Academy. So if you don't mind, just say a little bow of our heads and say thank you for the peace and the prosperity and the love and that we have here at Avini Vibes with this company, Avini. Thank you very much for taking that time to remember those people in your hearts. So with that, we don't make any medical claims. We don't make any diagnosis, and we don't treat. We're here to share, we're here to learn, and we're here to be educated. Tonight we have a special lady who's got a long history with this product, with Rick Deitch, with our leadership. And I just want to be quiet now and welcome Robben West to the floor and give her the opportunity to share from her heart and her story and her why. Thank you, Robben. Unmute if you would, and we would like to welcome you to Avini Vibes. And please have the floor.
Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you guys for inviting me. I was just saying earlier that I'm on MST program on Thursdays and having a great time and going through it again and with a group of people with MJ Durkin. And so I don't get to be on here very often, but man, what an amazing group. There's several of you on here I see quite often, but I don't get to see everybody. So it's so much fun. Yes, I'm Robben, my husband, Mark. We live in California. Central California, up out of Fresno, but we live in the mountains. I'm not a city girl. Moved from the coast up here to the mountains, and in Oakhurst on the way to Yosemite National Park on the south end. And we're very blessed. We love it up here. I love the beach where I was born and raised, but I love the mountains too. I didn't realize how much until I moved here. So we're so blessed. But we were also blessed that Chip and Marcy Littlejohn were in our lives way back in the late 90s, early 2000s in another company that was a great company, health company that had wonderful results, especially for my sister. And a lot of you have heard Glenna Russell's testimonial. You can go hear that on avinihealthtraining.com in the short testimonials. But she really had a helpful miracle, that first company. And then we all kind of split up and we left the company and didn't see Chip and Marcy for years. But all of a sudden, I started hearing Chip and Marcy's name from a mutual friend. He had bought a little bottle. I don't know if you can see it because I have a background, but he bought a little bottle, this little white bottle of what we call Cell Defender, Avini Cell Defender, or Detoxolite. And it is an amazing little bottle of hope, as Marcy calls it. And he got results overnight. He met Chip and Marcy at a cattle show, and their kids all showed cattle together all their growing up years, and my sister too. And my sister knew Gary, and Gary knew Chip and Marcy. And he called me because he didn't have my sister's number and said, "Oh my goodness, I just bought this little bottle from Marcy and Chip Littlejohn, and this morning that was the night before, and this morning I woke up and my feet don't sting and they're not as numb, and I'm having great, not hurting as much. You got to get this stuff for Glenna." So we called Marcy and Chip, and we were introduced to Rick Deitch, our biochemist. And from there, it is an amazing history. That was in 2005. And when Mark and I first heard about it, I did call Marcy for Glenna, my sister, but when I heard it was detox and it was easy, I'm like, oh my goodness. So Mark and I bought the biggest pack that they had to get involved. And we started taking these little drops, just dropping them in our mouth. Several times a day. I did 10 drops 4 to 5 times a day. Well, at the time, I was going through the change of life at 48, and I was miserable. Now, I had a very interesting life. I was really blessed, but I was very toxic. I knew I was toxic. I would get sick a lot. I was very strong and outgoing and rode horses and all that kind of thing, and beach buggies and motorcycles. But there would just be times when I was just down with a viral kind of a thing or allergies, whatever it was. And it was miserable through my lifetime and had a lot of really heavy, different cycles and painful and that kind of thing. So at 48, I'm going through this change, and I'm having anxiety every day. It had been going on for months. And it was embarrassing. It's like I'd never had anxiety before. And I had something on my scalp. It was not diagnosed, but it was similar to a psoriasis issue I'd had. Maybe it was candida outbreak, but it was itchy burning on my scalp, and it was very uncomfortable. And I touched my hair and it would just snow. Another embarrassing thing. And I was just whacked out. I mean, I'm like, emotions, everything, hot flashes, all that. So I was still working with my husband full time. We were doing window cover and installing. We'd had a restaurant before, and decided from that time in our life we'd never have employees again. So it was just Mark and I out there doing the hard labor, installing window covering, shutters, that kind of thing. Anyway, I started taking these drops, and guys, within 3 days, my anxiety stopped. I mean, I did not have another afternoon of anxiety, and I'm like, whoa, what is in this bottle, right? And then other things started happening, like my hot flashes got a little less, and then the itching, burning on my scalp started going away. And, within a couple of months, I was doing pretty good. And then a few months later, Rick Deitch brought out his immunity, what we call immunity now. It was a mushroom product that it was just a six mushroom combination. Now we have 7. It's even more valuable. And oh my goodness, it just changed my life. Hot flashes really just pretty much diminished over a few months. I flew through that change of life. I'm 67 now, going on 68, and I'm in better shape than I was at 48. That says a lot for prevention and getting your body in a better, cleaner situation so it can heal itself and stay healthy. With the products we have, you can, prevent injuries, or if you do have an injury, it's not as bad because your body's in better shape. So with that, I shared with my my brother and sister-in-law and their daughter, Mandy. And she had 2 boys that were very low on the spectrum, and autism spectrum. That's not a disease, so we can say autism. And they were 4 and 6. This is my favorite story, so I'll end with this one, Christine. I'll keep it shorter. And but these 2 boys were amazing. They're amazing young boys, very smart. But
Robin, you don't
yeah,
have to rush. You got plenty of time.
okay,
We want
okay.
to hear your story.
Okay, well, this is very important to our family too, and I do want to share it. It's the most important one to share. Thank you for that. So they were 4 and 6, both in diapers. They could speak words here and there, but no sentences. The youngest one also had something from birth that caused anger and also seizures. So he was on anti-seizure medication, but he still had those issues. And he couldn't get into preschool because they couldn't handle him. And so he was at home with, some of the family members. And they were very beautiful boys, but the oldest one, very, very sweet, but the youngest one would have anger issues. The oldest one was in school for autism. We got them on this bottle of drops, and we told their mom, you know what, you can't hurt them. You're in charge, as Marcy would teach us. And you could take 2 drops. You start out slow, do 2 drops twice a day, do that for 3 days, then move up to 2 drops 3 times a day, then go to 3 drops 3 times a day, and move up to 7 to 10 drops 3 times a day, as soon as you want or as slow as you want. Well, she saw results, some results, enough to know that this stuff was working and doing something. And so right away, within about a week, within five days, she was up to 7 drops 3 times a day. Well, within 2 more weeks, those boys were at the same time, almost the same day, started speaking in sentences. I mean, all at once. They just blah, 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 just speaking. And our family's like, oh my goodness, what do we have our hands on? This is unbelievable. So they kept taking the drops. And we started them at the end of a school year. So it was over summer. They both came out of their diapers. So I'm just going to say within 2 months, a lot of things happened on the way for 2 months, but within 2 months, they were both out of their diapers, both speaking. The youngest one, a mom weaned him off his anti-seizure medication, no more seizures, no more anger. And he was able to go to preschool that next year and for autism. And the oldest one went back to school, and instead of not being social, he actually helped the other autistic children with their schoolwork that year. So now, over these years that we've been involved, they still take their drops every day. In fact, Matt, the youngest one, if he has some frustration, the older one will go, hey, did you take your drops? Come on, let's go take your drops. And so he'll make sure he takes them every day. But they are 25 and 27. And they're amazing young men. They become the young men that God wanted them to be when he created them. And they're very, very high functioning. And you'd have to spend time to even know they're on the spectrum. They're just very, very intelligent. So we are so thankful as a family. We have so many more stories. But I do want to tell this one story about my husband a little. I'm not going to go into big detail because I have done that on a recording, and I just want to say that 5 years ago, it looked kind of grim for us because we were still working in our 60s together. And overnight, our self-employment business was gone. My husband, I found him on the floor paralyzed, couldn't speak, got in the hospital, found he'd had an issue, but he actually got the medicine for that and recovered really well. And I know it was because he had a cleaner, healthier body that he took to the situation. But here we are. It's like we didn't have a plan B. At that time, we were not doing network marketing. We didn't have any retirement. It was a little difficult in the mountains to have that kind of thing going, and for us. And so here we were, like, what are we going to do? But we're trusting. But Rick was back, our biochemist was back and ready to open up, along with his best friend and partner, Neil Roth. They opened up Avini Health. And I started getting going and getting excited. And I told everybody that had known about our Cell Defender or before, the drops before, I called all them, and Marcy and Chip helped me, and we did connection calls, and we got a lot of people on. And I got to tell you, that first check was pretty amazing. I should have looked it up. I cannot quite remember, although we don't make claims on our financial income either. But just because Avini has this incredible compensation plan, and a way to help people when they first get involved, because you get such an incredible bonus just by referring people to the company who just decide to buy their own products at wholesale. We made an amazing amount of money that first month, and we just kept going and going and bringing more people in and helping other people. And what drives us is the products and what the products do, but also the business drives us. We are business people, we're entrepreneurs. And I got to tell you that network marketing to Mark and I is the best way to do business. We've been out there. We had restaurant. We've had drapery workrooms where we created and made the draperies and installed them. We installed, just did the installation part, which was a lot better money and a lot less strife and stress. But having a home-based business but you can get out and go anywhere you want, or you can call someone across the world, and bring them in. It's pretty amazing. You can work out of your home, or you can go outside if you want, but there's no overhead. That's a huge, huge difference between our businesses and this business's overhead. And there isn't any. I mean, you get buy a computer, buy a phone, you know, I don't know. There's just really not that much, and there's so many tax deductions. um, I'm amazed. I mean, I'm just so blown away with network marketing. It's my favorite. I'm good at it. I love helping people with their health, but I love helping people with their finances. And I have so many people in our team that never made any money with network marketing, and they are making money here. They're paying for their product, but they have extra money to do extra things they've never done before because they didn't have the extra income. And so even if you're not someone like myself who's like, I do it full time. I mean, this is what I want to do. But you can do it part time, or you can just refer people to the person that brought you in, and you can get bonuses by connecting people. So this is so easy, so simple. Yeah, it's work. It's work, but it's nothing like whatever I've done before. And it's so much fun. I love it. So I want to invite anyone who's listening, if anybody's here or listening to the recording, that is interested in their health getting better, or they have a family member or someone they know that is desperate need of hope in their health, please let the person that invited you know about them. Let them help that person for you or with you. But if you know someone that needs some finances, I want to invite you to be a part of us, be a part of our team. We need to get the word out about Avini. We need the world to know everyone in the world needs our products. And there's so many millions in the world that need our financial product. So we want to help people where they are, and you just tell us. We ask, and you let us know how you want to be helped. There's no pushing, no shoving. We don't need to do that. We're inviting. We're inviting people to be part of us, and thank you guys for letting me speak. This has just been a lot of fun. I
We
really
can't go anywhere yet because I have a couple
okay.
questions for you that came
Sure.
up in the chat and the comments. It's been a journey for you and your family, and it started with your two precious little guys, and now they're upward of 26 and 27. What if you didn't take that chance, right? What if you didn't take that risk? What if Rick didn't do what he did to take the zeolite and clean it to the utmost expert of what our zeolite is, Avini zeolite. But Robin, there's so many people in this world. I've been involved in the autism field for a long time through my sister's son, a family member, and been a very, very hard journey, very, very hard journey. As a director of a school with I think we had 170 children, but over 75 on the spectrum, little bitties. It was very, very tough for these families. And that's what I want you all that are listening tonight. There's a family out there right now that needs us, that needs this, because a behavior of a child with autism is very difficult to manage, and can be overwhelming. And I see a lot of heads going up and down. And yes, so thank you, Robin, for doing that, and thank you for sharing. But there's been more than just your own family members, right? There's a little boy named Artis. Can you share a little bit about Artis, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you that, yes, the family members' lives, as Christina said, oh my goodness, my niece right now is getting her doctorate. I mean, and then she's the mom. If they hadn't been helped, she wouldn't be able to do that.
Mm.
She got masters, she kept going, and she is working with special children,
Oh,
and that
boy.
is her specialty. She's amazing, and she's got a great, amazing gift. So yes, that's just one aspect of the family members' lives being affected. Yes, Artis is an amazing young man, and you can hear his testimonial and details of mom and dad talk about it later. That we have a short video on avinihealthtraining.com of in the beginning with Artis. And Thane and his family were very much the ones to get Artis and his mom and family, the Cell Defender, totally changed his life. Now, he was a young man who was ready to be institutionalized. They had tried everything, everything. And he was, and Chip, if I'm right, I believe he was 6 years old, wasn't he, or was he 8? 6 years old.
Yeah, he was real young,
Yeah.
like 5 or 6. Now,
Yes.
I mean, now it's 3, 4 years into the project.
Yeah. Have you talked to him lately, Chip? Do you have a better update? Let me do the beginning and you come update. How's that? Because this little boy, it just was overwhelming when we heard about this little boy, because our boys weren't that bad. I mean, it was very challenging, like Christine's saying. I mean, any child with autism is not who they were meant to be. They don't get to be who they were meant to be unless we introduce this to their family. Now they can get improved, and there are a lot of ways that autism, they're helping them. But I'm telling you, when you get this in their body and they clean out that toxic load, oh my goodness, they're just coming out, and they're coming out of their cage, and they're becoming the children that God designed them. So Artis was so angry that he had to be kept from his sisters. He would harm them, harm mom. And he harmed one of the counselors, special counselors that was dealing with him. And that's when they finally said, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, said, okay, he's got to go into either institution, or you're going to have to give your daughters to their dad, custody to their dad, and keep him in the home only, because someone's going to get hurt. Well, Thane was at a special event on a Friday night, and they got to hear the mom's adopted mom was there, and she brought the news home of the cell defender, and it was just, you got to hear the details. Just amazing how this divine intervention happened of this family getting the cell defender. So within just a few days of them trying to having the doctor say, you got to decide where he's going, and he gets the drops, and overnight he gets some results. Now, I mean, he would do, like, they had to lock him in his room and take pretty much everything out of the room, and he just bang on the door in the morning to wake him up. Never say a word, just bang, 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 bang. So they'd go get him. The next morning he said, Mom, I can't remember, Chip, the exact words, Mom, out, something like that. And then just kept going and going that whole week. And I think it was within 2 weeks, if I remember, Chip, they said he doesn't need to be institutionalized. I mean, to me, that is dramatic. I'm gonna have Chip come in, please, and finish the details, because he's been more involved with it than I have lately.
Well, when you have Robin and I on the same Zoom, you have a lot of history. You have Avini before there was Avini. I'm just, I was going to ask Robin, what's a typical hour, day, week, month, year that turns into a career like? And for her, she's just looking for any way to help anybody. Bev Ellis is another one like that. These are two of the people that we've stayed close to for years, and they both remarkably have that attribute. I think I am going to go backwards just a little bit. The booth that we were standing in when Gary Stoller walked up and had the result that led back to Robin and Glenna. That was at the National Western Stock Show, January, in downtown Denver, in the guts of Denver. I'm talking, we had to pull over because of gunfights on the highway going back to the hotel at night. It's that kind of downtown Denver, but it's country people at the stock show. So we're fine down there. But when you go to that booth, and I just want to give you an idea, these things seem to happen overnight, and maybe you feel like you're spinning your wheels a little bit, but you never know when the magic is going to come your way. So each year that we went to that stock show, it was 17 days in that booth. We'd done it 7 years in a row. I'm sorry, 10 years in a row. So that's 170 days. So essentially, we had spent over the last 10 years, 6 months working in that booth, bringing cool healthcare products. And this was the first time that we had Rick and his product. And you've heard us tell the story about the cowboys that came in and were looking for something to help quit chewing. Here, try this little bottle, try this little bottle. And I'll be doggone, if it didn't work. And they came back all tickled and told the other pro cowboys. And one of the people that came by, big time, cattle showman, Gary Stoller, he comes by and yeah, I want to use this to help me, but obviously I'm, big time cattleman. I don't need it for a business. But some people wind up doing it even when they're not doing it. He told Robben. Well, that turned out to be a lifetime powerful thing. We knew Robben from years gone by. We'd had the good fortune to be around them, work in their area. But all of a sudden it caught fire. How did we know that this might help those two boys? And I'm just saying, success leaves tracks. There's clues along the way. We had Rick's product, and we're just getting it to anybody. We're thinking, my very first thought was, if you get clean like this, everything ought to start going right at once. I mean, that was like in the first minute of hearing what Rick was doing. I thought, okay, this guy's removing the stumbling blocks. Everything ought to work better. That was the first thought when I first heard about him. And so, they're getting around, and some people are reaching out to other people. And it's a Saturday morning, and a woman, the phone rings. I answer the phone, and it's a woman in tears. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's happened? I mean, I'm as new as the newest person on this phone tonight. And by the way, thank you guys for being here tonight. I think this is one of the biggest Avini Vibe Zooms we've ever had. There's over 60 of us here tonight. Yeah.
Tip, it is a big one, and I'm going to let you continue, but I have a mom that's going to share, and I'd like to bump her up just for a moment because
You bet.
she's got to go. She's got
You
a
bet.
little one, and Marta, sorry, Chip, but
I'm
Marta's
looking at her. I'm looking forward to hearing her talk. Hi, Marta.
Come
Hi,
join us.
guys.
Come say hello, because we know I see you keep looking back, and I don't want to keep you from your little one.
Thank you.
So Chip's going to jump back in after you share, if you don't mind. Thank you for being.
So I am so grateful to you, my beautiful lady. To you and all the people around you who were helping us with this situation. I have a daughter. She just turned 7 yesterday. And we've been trying to find her help for so long. Actually, since she was like around 2.5. And we tried so many different products. We tried so many different detoxes, so many different heavy metal products, and obviously so many dewormers. And to tell you the truth, because I tried so many things and I am able to kind of see how things worked and didn't work. So when we started using the defensor, maybe it was maybe the third or fourth day, what I noticed was very shocking because she was always on the go, always on the move. And I was just sitting on the sofa and I put on the TV, and then she sat next to me. She just put her head on my arm, and she sat with me the whole time I watched the movie. So for me, it was just such a blessing. So it was really amazing. And I see how different she was afterwards, and how calm, and how like you would see different things in her working different way. And another thing, we tried so many dewormers. I only was able to see worms coming out of me when I was on this 12-day fast on juice and herbs. That's when I saw worms coming out of me. But on the 5th day of taking the nano silver, I was in shock because a worm came out of my bottom, pretty much around 30 centimeters long. So I have to say, still cannot get rid of that thought, but it's just amazing how it works and how fast you see the results. So I am so grateful and thank you so much for everything.
Oh, Marta, thank you so much for sharing. It's just been such a blessing to work with you and your daughter and hear, how you're both progressing. So God bless you. And
Thank you.
yeah, and thanks for sharing. Thank you for
Oh,
sharing.
definitely. It's something, because I tried so many different things. When you find something that works, you just share. You just cannot keep that for yourself because there are so many parents in need. Um, and they keep trying to look for things. And with kids like that, it's really an issue even to give them supplements or give them things that they would actually take in. So this is so easy because of the drops or because of the spray. It's so easy to take it. It's so easy to give it to the child. So it's really amazing that you have products like that.
Marta, before you leave, I want you to hear a little bit about the first mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a lot of the people on the call here tonight, you are the first mom. And when they reach out to people, when you reach out to people, it's going to work for them too.
Yeah.
And so you are the new lightning, the new thing that starts. That first mom that called crying, her son had to wear a helmet because what he did to try to distract himself from whatever was wrong was he would just beat his head on the floor. And when she called crying, I thought, oh my gosh, what's gone wrong? And I said, well, what's happened? And she said, it's my son. At
Yeah.
that time. And she said, he picked up a tractor and he headed off across the rug making tractor noises. And I thought, as I thought. And then she really started crying. She said, it's good.
Yeah.
It's the first time. And so that was the moment of discovery that then led to Robben's nephews. Now there's two of them, and it happens to both of them. Now you pretty much know for sure, for absolute sure, that it's going to happen no matter where you offer it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's led to, literally thousands and led to Avini. And I see the tears in your eyes. I'm looking at Richard Zimmer, and he has his shocked look on his face. So anyway,
Wow.
was talking about, I got to go to the first meeting when he came out. And I'm guessing that's your daughter right there with you. How perfect.
There she
And
is.
yeah, well, that there you go.
Yeah.
And he came and he was a little gentleman. His parents got up and told the story. And the lead waitress, they were getting like we were the first people that came in with a group after the COVID shutdown for this restaurant in Idaho, just a little country restaurant. And the woman who was the lead waitress stood in the door while they were telling their story. Her child needed the same thing. So you just don't know. There's clues. It finds its way. You just keep offering it and it finds its way. And that's what I wanted to say.
Well, Chip, being in as I said, a personal experience in my own family. My sister made us all go for training, and ABA was just new at that time, but we all had to kind of figure it out so we could support a family member with a son that was very, very difficult for her to sometimes leave the house because he was self-injurious. And in 1980, they said there was 1 in 10,000, right? 1 in 10,000 were diagnosed. In 2025, I pulled this up today, it's 1 in 31. So I'm just going to say we got work to do, right, Robben? We got work to do. And we're that's why we're all here. And the blessing is that Robben said, this is not work, it's fun. And that's how I feel every day I get up. I want to jump out of bed, Alan, get on the phone. Like all you do is you meet so many great people and we're all making a difference. A person like I got to meet Marta and work at a conference with her. And I was the only English speaking person there. Everyone else spoke Polish, and she was helping me translate. So that was kind of cool. She was the narrator, right? She ran she really did a remarkable job. But there's another gal on the phone on tonight who I just met today. And Carrie, I don't know, is it okay if I call on you? Carrie's going to share a little story too, and her story is a little different. But Carrie, if you got a couple minutes, would you mind sharing what you share with us today? And thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course. Well, I was born with a rare brain disease that causes seizures. And ever since I was 16, um, I've had seizures almost every day. And I've had life-threatening seizures. It's been challenging for me to be under stress, be in the heat, find a job. Uh, Back in June of this year, my symptoms started getting worse to where the life-threatening signs came back. And my boyfriend Gabe introduced me to the key product, Cell Defender. And I could actually notice the difference that first day, like you guys were talking about, where I could go outside and do the things I loved for a longer amount of time in the heat without any seizures. And I thought that was pretty amazing. And well, I just had 4 days without any seizures, the last 4 days. So the longer I've been taking it, the better it's getting. Because of Cell Defender, I felt comfortable enough to take my first plane ride, and I went to Summit, and that's where I decided I wanted to help people with Avini also.
And how old did you say you were?
21.
21. Can you imagine the life ahead of this girl, right? Oh my gosh. We're so happy for you. So happy that you had the courage to step out. You know, sometimes people are afraid to take things, right? When you're experiencing, but you're bold, you're courageous, and you did it. And look at the life that you're starting and going to lead. So we're really blessed to get to know you.
Yeah, I was skeptical. I asked a few questions, but the symptoms were scary.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, listen, you know, you're brand new in this business, and here you are. You're speaking because it's like Chip says, if you're in it, what Chip, why don't you close us out? Because I know you got some good thoughts, and we're grateful, right, Robben? We're grateful for Robben. Robben, what is it? Every Tuesday, Testimonial Tuesday you do.
Yep. A testimonial Tuesday at 3 o'clock Pacific, every Tuesday afternoon. And it's on avinihealthtraining.com, the link, just where yours is there too, toward the top. So yeah, everyone's invited. Anybody can come. I'd love to have anybody come and share their testimonial. I just get to host it. It's the Avini family call. So just join it and come bring your testimonial. Thanks.
Thank you, Robben. It was a blessing to have you. Chip, why don't you close us out for this evening?
Well, I'm listening to Marta and Carrie, and I was kind of in listening mode, but you know, it triggers a vision of another future. Guess what? With you too. I mean, the power of the stories you just told. Avini begins again with you. I assure you, you have stepped into a stream of miracles. They are not going to quit happening just because you need one or you're the one that's offering them. That's God.
Oh, well said, Chip. Thank you, Chip. Thank you, Robben. Thank you, guests. If you joined us tonight, get with the person, as Robben said, who invited you here tonight. We're here to share, we're here to educate, and we're here to learn. And most importantly, go share this good news. God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful evening, okay? Thanks for coming. See you next week.
Everyone. Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night
you.
now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.